Hello everybody, this is another video tour of our just open show by Dionisio González. It's entitled Wittgenstein's Cabin, and as Dionisio is very famous for his architectural renderings, this is not real. This is a new series focusing on Norwegian fjords, which you see in the background. Photos he has taken himself on site. This is a scenery and landscape where Wittgenstein used to live for a while and write a number of his most important theories. He was living in a small wooden hut, which was the base of one of these fjords directly on the water. And it was so hidden that you could not reach it going over land. You would have to cross the lake in summer by boat or in winter walking over the ice. Dionisio was imagining how an architecture nowadays could look like to serve as a cabin for Wittgenstein. So this is one of the first images we are looking at in our show. On the opposite wall of the piece we have just been looking at is this one here, which I love a lot, because the fjord landscape vanishes in the clouds and you have like clouds coming down versus the water, which I think is a very fantastic and fascinating scenery. The shape of the buildings here is very different. So this could even be a spaceship which has just landed on the fjord, and you would wait for that this door open, which looks like a bit like a door from an airplane. Also, this is kind of a number of different shapes of buildings, all located next to each other, but obviously serving different uses. Here we are looking at the largest of the pieces in this show. It's extremely wide. And again, we do have a different shape of architecture. These are kind of different forms layered above each other, always with a diagonal shape including, going down onto the water and being much bigger atop than on the water level. Also, it's very nice that you read here "Refugees Welcome," which is also something which Dionisio is always interested in, is the social aspect. Also, I would like to tell a bit about the methods of producing such a photo. The regular color prints, so-called sea prints, get yellow or vanish and lose contrast over the many years they are exposed to natural light. Most of the photographers, including Dionisio, have changed their technique. So what we are looking at is not a sea print, but it is a high-class inkjet print with inks which are made of real pigments, so they don't vanish at all. And the photo or the print is glued behind plexiglass with the so-called technique diasac, which means that there is no material left which could alter in any way. So this is said to be this type of photography or photo print which should last the longest. Now we are looking at Wittgenstein's Cabin number 11 by Dionisio González. And this is different because the shape is not that extremely horizontal as his images usually are. And also in this image, the architecture he has created is very much in the foreground. So you see many details. It's also a bit more domestic in terms of that you see a couple of different furniture pieces and also a person moving around there. And then there is a little hint in the back, as we do have a wooden cabin there, which could be a bit similar to the one Wittgenstein used. And you see that the fjord is going on and the water, so it's a very nice scenery. On the other side in our space there is another one of the horizontal ones, which we do love a lot because of the mirroring of the landscape and the sky in the water. It's just a very, very fascinating image where you see again the architecture floating in front of the mountain scenery in the back. Here we are in our Backspace looking at different images from a different work group than Wittgenstein's cabin. So this is new brutal situaciones, sceneries in the city of London. There are a number of black and white prints in small size and like 3 larger ones, which we are showing 2 here in our space. I wanted to have these photos in our show because I do know the scenery in London very well and I like it very much. So here we have the Regent Canal with a walkway along the canal, which is always very, very much used, especially during the weekends. It's a kind of a meeting point, people having picnic there, and it's kind of an oasis within this very, very busy city. On the other hand, when we go look at the other side, it's still the same part in London. It's Shoreditch High Street, but there is of course no oasis at all. But maybe one could consider the architecture being the substitute oasis in this case. Here the architecture is developing out of the image in the left and the right hand way, which is kind of not usual for the architectural inserts Dionisio is using regularly. Have a look at our show. It will last kind of long until end of July, exactly July 30th. And please get back to us if you have any further questions. We are happy to help you. Thank you.